Welcome back, everybody. We are live here in the ninth inning, trying to cheer on Emilio Pagan. Hopefully, he's closing out the ninth against the Philadelphia Phillies. Your Cincinnati Reds are up 9-6 on this 4th of July. Happy 4th of July weekend, everybody. Welcome in, Eric. You want to tell everybody why it looks like you're coming from the heavens today?
Well, I made the travel up to Cambridge, Ohio. I've actually got your daughter's party today. We were thinking about going from the same room, but couldn't get the mic situation figured out. So I'm down here at my mom and dad's, just around the corner from you, drinking beers, having a good time, enjoying our Cincinnati Reds in this 9-6 ball game. So we're really excited to have you guys in and joining us here. We do get past the meat of the order with Bryce Harper being Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber and those guys going down last inning. So we've got Emilio Pagan in to try to close things out here in the ninth, and Nick Castellanos is going to lead things off here for the Phillies. Nick's had a kind of forgettable day as he goes to a 1-1 count here against Emilio Pagan, who's in. Really excited to see what these guys can do, man. If they can close this thing out, it feels like a really big win against the left-handed starter and Jesus Luzardo. So I'm just pumped up to see what these guys can be.
Right, absolutely. Castellanos did have a 2-run banger earlier in the game. I think he did go deep earlier in the game. So
I'm forgetting about the first inning. So as he flies out to right field, I'm thinking of the misplayed ball up in right field that cost his team 2 runs, and then he's K'd a couple of big spots as well. But that 2-run homer, that's somebody passed away right before he did that, I'm sure.
You know how he is.
But that's one out, and the first out in the ninth is the biggest one. So Emilio's up. He's got nobody on. He's got a 3-run lead, and he's got an out in his pocket. So
here comes JT Realmuto.
Yeah, he's banged us around a little bit today as well.
Yeah, he's 2 for 4 today.
Yeah. Remember there was a time there when we had to make a decision on the future of the catching position, and it was we went out in free agency. It was kind of around the time between the Tucker Barnhart, Tyler Stevenson opportunity, and he was out there on the free agent market, and we thought that was the path forward, and we decided against it. I think he was coming from Miami at the time, and I look back, and every time I see him mashing balls, it just seems like that's the one that got away from us from a free agency standout.
Yeah, when you go, hindsight's definitely 20/20, but when you see him doing the things he's doing in Philadelphia, the guy's just been an absolute glue, and it's hard to run on the dude too. He's a backstop back there.
Yeah, and John, I apologize for being a little fogged up. We're a little mobile today, so trying to get myself figured out here. I'm a little blurry, but we'll try to get it going here before too long.
It definitely looks like you're coming out of the clouds.
Yeah, that's where I am. That's where Will Benson was praying to when he caught that ball in the bottom of the eighth.
Yeah,
ball hit 114 miles an hour off the Schwarber's bat, and he just sticks his glove up like the Sandlot, and it happens to find a home. So,
yeah, Sadak even pointed it out. I wonder if it didn't almost knock his glove off. I mean, he looked back at his hand like, okay, it's still there.
Yeah, so we got a 2-2 count here on JT, so we're hoping to fix this thing around here.
Come on, Emilio. Close this out. I feel like it's a really big win. Starting off the series against a really good team and what looked like a daunting series with 2 left-handers and Zach Wheeler coming at us, but another good outing against a left-hander, and I kind of like it.
Ooh, ball just fouled down the third baseline from Realmuto.
I think you're about a half a pitch in front of me.
Am I? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you lead us here.
I'll try to stay forward here so that I'm not quite as foggy in my face. But as you hit the blurred background, you don't want to see the ugly wallpaper my mom's got in her living room here. Oh, shit. There's a ball that's tagged pretty well, getting foul, thankfully. I thought it might dong off the foul pole, but that is a foul ball. Just a long strike. If you're going to give up that damn home run, Emilio, do it now. Do it with nobody on.
Yeah. Or just strike him out. Whatever you want to do, let's get out of this thing, man. Please like the stream if you haven't done so already. Likes definitely help the algorithm. Subscribe, click the bell button, all that good stuff. Likes for strikes.
Come on, come and get him, Emilio.
Come on, Will.
There we go. Ball bouncing up the middle. World-class shortstop Elly De La Cruz over to make the play and makes the put out at first base. We got 2. Everybody on your feet. We're going for one more out here. Come on, baby.
Come on, boys.
Come on.
Come on, boys.
That's a great play, ranging to his left there and letting it fire. I don't feel like he's had a chance at a lot of putouts today. I feel like Espinal got a lot of work at second base. Did boot one, but it come back to not bite him at all. And the way that Espinal worked his stick today, I think he's earning his playing time. I mean, it's weird to look up and see Espinal as a DH, but you do have Matt McClain as your DH today instead of Santiago Espinal. But I think I'm not against one of those guys being one or the other every time we see a left-handed pitcher here. So I love the way the lineup looked today against Jesus Luzardo right off the jump.
Yeah, and it's nice to get your position players a day out of the lineup and still have a lineup that looks worthy of scoring some runs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then you go down 3-0 early. I mean, that's rough. Andrew Abbott, we'll talk about it on the other side of this, but Abbott has another kind of a rough day. Only going 3 1/3 before getting pulled at 66 pitches with a lot of hard contact involved. So really hoping to get that opportunity back and make him the ace, because now that his ERA is up over 2, his WAR's not been the greatest all season long. So I'm curious if he'll have that chance to make the All-Star game. So
he deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the last 2 starts have kind of, looked a little rougher than because I think he went 5 or 4 2/3 the last time out, and then 3 1/3 today. You'd like to see some more length, but I think at some point in time, although I'm also in the Kirby boat of I'd rather see him take 4 days off and make it down the back half of the season rather than not get the full rest that he could in those 4 days.
2 strikes here. Come on, Emilio.
Strike away from getting the first one. Come on. No. Hooks a ball down the left field line. Austin Hayes keeps it in front. I think they were in a no double situation there, so you got a runner on first with 2 outs. And that's going to go from Kemp down to, or actually that was Stolt that was hitting for, or no, it was Kemp. Now it's Stott, the second baseman that replaced Edmundo Sosa. But it does look like we've got in play and outs on the first play of the year, on the first pitch of the at bat here, according to Game Changer, or according to Game Day. So I think we might be hitting a tune here very shortly and getting ourselves ready to go here. As we take a look at the pitch live, it is a fly out into foul territory over at third base. Newly acquired Noelvi Marte underneath of it, and this one belongs to the Reds. We will see you on the other half of a 1.5-minute break here. We appreciate you tuning in. Share the stream, like it. It'll be a quicker show here on the 4th. We're looking forward to recapping this thing and getting everybody going on the other side here. So Corey T, you want to hit us away?
Let's go. Welcome back into a weekend winning edition of Chatterbox Reds. Happy 4th of July, everybody. The Phillips brothers are coming to you live on YouTube and then your podcast feed today. Big win, Eric, 9-6 over the Philadelphia Phillies. A little bit of a struggle from Zach Abbott, listen to me, Andrew Abbott in the start, but the Reds offense was able to get over the hump, and another good outing against a left-handed pitcher, and we're going to keep the ball right on rolling here, brother. What did you think of today's game?
I really enjoyed it. I think it was one of those things where originally I wasn't sure how things were going to go when you go down 3-0 early. There's a really tough left-hander on the mound that mows us down in the first inning. You go 3 out, 3 down. And so you're a little worried about what's to come, but I'll apologize early for those that are joining us on YouTube here. I do look like I'm coming from the clouds. Cory and I are coming to you live from Cambridge, Ohio, both of us, as I'm in town to visit some family for the 4th of July holiday weekend, but still wanted to get a chance to get on here and chat Cincinnati Reds. Always fun to do, but absolutely love what our boys did today, showing a little bit of fight, picking themselves up off the mat and kind of taking it to Philadelphia. We didn't play long ball either. It was base hits at a time. It was production up and down the lineup. Santiago Espinal had a great day at the plate. Elly had contributions from both the left side and the right side. A little bit of defense, capitalizes on a base running mistake by the Phillies that kind of puts away a threat. You get a really big pitch, which felt like the biggest out of the year at the time when Tony Santillan gets a K of was it Alec Bohm with the bases loaded there in the bottom of the 8th that seemed like it was going to be a really big threat after getting a Santiago Espinal error earlier in the inning that kind of continued things longer than what it needed to be. So I absolutely love what the boys did. And it's going to be a lot of fun if this team continues to beat winning teams like this. That's a playoff team that you're beating in the Philadelphia Phillies. I mean, that's no scrub. That's somebody that if you're going to continue on, making the playoffs is one thing. Winning playoff series is another. Andrew Abbott versus Jesus Luzardo is something that you could see somewhere down the line in October if you really want to make noise. These are the kind of games you got to figure out. So loving it. I'm sporting the 4th of July hat. Cory T, I know you've got the All-Star Game hat on, so happy 4th to you. Have a very safe and happy 4th to everybody out there. But yeah, awesome win. Absolutely excited to be here. Got a couple beers, so cheers to you to a Reds win, and let's roll.
Yes, sir. Cheers to you. It was my kind of game today, brother. I mean, it was we didn't have to rely on the long ball. It was station to station, hit after hit. Saw a couple of bunts for hits. Saw some really good baseball play. And it's nice to have the home run when we need it, but it's also nice to be able to score the runs and manufacture them when we need it. And the station to station ball, I was all kind of excited to see that. TJ Friedl led off what was a big 3rd inning with a bunt hit and kind of got the ball rolling from there. And of course, that gets me all kind of excited. So it was my kind of ball game, and it was really exciting to see. And I have the one-liner in the back of my head. We actually rung Philadelphia's bell on the 4th of July. I mean, where freedom rings. So it doesn't get much better than that. But you got a little box score recap, man. Let them know what happened.
Yeah, so your Reds were at the Philadelphia Phillies today. 105 first pitch from Citizens Bank Ballpark there in Philadelphia, home of the Liberty Bell. Jesus Luzardo comes in with a 7-4 record and a 4.06 ERA. Andrew Abbott comes in with a 7-1 record and a 1.79 ERA. The Reds go quietly in the top of the first, but the Phillies, they make some noise in the bottom as Trey Turner with a leadoff single leads to a Bryce Harper single. Trey Turner to third base, so they've got first and third with one out. Alec Bohm hits a sac fly, making it 1-0 Philadelphia. And then Castellanos, our boy Nick Castellanos, hits a 2-run bomb, making it 3-0 Phillies. And that's followed up by a JT Realmuto double before Andrew Abbott's able to get rid of the side there. But we leave the bottom of the first down 3-0. The Reds answer back with a little bit and kind of get off the mat in the top of the second after a Hayes strikeout, a Spencer Steer walk, and a Tyler Stevenson base hit. Noelvi Marte walks and loads the bases for Reese Hines. A ground ball that Hines hits back to Jesus Luzardo. They go home for the first out, but it actually hits off the back of Reese Hines hustling down to first base and scampers off to the right side, kind of towards the dugout down the right field line. And as it kicks away, that gives Tyler Stevenson a chance to score from second base, and that makes it 3-1 Phillies. But the Reds do get on the board. A very quick 10-pitch bottom of the second inning. Felt very big in terms of momentum. After you get a run back, you're starting to come after Luzardo. You get him right back out there after just 10 pitches for Andrew Abbott in the bottom of the second, and they go 3 up and 3 down. And then in the top of the third, the Reds come and do more damage. A TJ Friedl bunt single and a Matt McLain walk get things started. Elly then singles to right field. TJ Friedl scores, making it 3-2 Philadelphia. And then a Austin Hayes double on a hard hit ball to right field that I'm going to say Nick Castellanos misplayed. I don't know that he catches it if he plays it even, 100% correctly, but it was a ball that on the radio they talked about, he didn't catch a good first step, and there's a reason why he's not a great defensive right fielder. And so Nick kind of gives it back to us there with an Austin Hayes double. Matt McLain scores, making it 3-3, and that leaves second and third with nobody out for Spencer Steer. A Spencer Steer double then scores 2, making it 5-3 Redlegs. And that is the third opposite field hit of the inning for our guys. And then Tyler Stevenson singles. Spencer Steer moves over to third base, and that was going to be it for Jesus Luzardo. He finishes his day with 2 innings pitched, 6 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned, 3 base on balls, and 4 strikeouts. Right-handed pitcher Joe Ross comes in. Noelvi Marte gets a sacrifice fly, making it 6-3 Reds. And then Reese Hines hits into a 6-4-3 double play to end the threat. But the Reds get 5 in the bottom or in the top of the third to take the lead. And it felt like it was momentum going forward for us from there. In the bottom of the third, Kyle Schwarber leads off with a single. Bryce Harper then singles. We got runners on first and second with nobody out. Alec Bohm singles to load them up, but a Nick Castellanos double play. A Nick Castellanos fielder's choice allows Kyle Schwarber to score, making it 6-4 Reds. That call was challenged. It was by far a double play. It was a terrible call. I don't know what we're doing in replay if that's not a double play. Yes, it was bang, bang, but when you get to slow it down to the millisecond and you see the ball enter the glove before the foot hits the bag, it's a damn double play, and I'll stand on that for the rest of the time. I am an angel. Thank you very much, Rave Damsey. I appreciate that in the chat. I am coming from the heavens for you today. But when we take a look at it, and it has to be a double play, but that makes it 6-4 Reds. But then instead it's a missed opportunity. You've got runners on first and third with one out, but a big strikeout and a Kemp fly out ends the threat and keeps it at 6-4. So no harm done on the absolutely colossal mistake from New York. In the top of the fourth, Santiago Espinal leads off with a base hit. TJ Friedel then singles to center field, moving Santiago Espinal over to third. You've got first and third with nobody out for Matt McClain. He does strike out, but then Elly singles and scores Santiago Espinal, making it 7-4 Reds. With first and second with one out, an Austin Hayes double play ends the inning. So a couple of missed opportunities. You have a Reese Hines double play, an Austin Hayes double play, keeping some of these innings from being huge opportunities. In the bottom of the fourth, Edmundo Sosa hits a leadoff double, and Johan Rosas bunts, and they've got runners on first and third with nobody out. Trey Turner then pops out to shortstop, making it first and third with one out, and that was going to be it for Andrew Abbott. He makes it 3 1/3 innings, gives up 9 hits, the one home run to Nick Castellanos. He gives up 4 runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts, increasing his ERA to 2.15 on the season. Sam Moll then comes in, and on his first pitch to Kyle Schwarber, gets a pop out, gets out of the inning. On the first pitch to Schwarber, he gets a comebacker. Sam Moll throws the ball to second base, gets the force out there. A terrible base running mistake by the runner from third, breaks for home as Elly throws a ball 92 mile an hour across the infield. Our catcher, Tyler Stevenson, makes a hell of a play by picking it up, driving across the plate, getting the out. The Phillies thought they were going to challenge for it. They did not. That ends the inning with a big double play and ends the threat from what the Phillies had going on there. So huge opportunity for the Phillies to play add-on, cut the lead there. They don't. Great play by Elly. Great play by Sam Moll. And just terrible base running again by the Phils. Top of the fifth, Spencer Steer leads off. A Tyler Stevenson walk, puts first and second with nobody out. A Marte fly out moves Spencer Steer over to third on the sac fly. We've got runners on first and third with one out for what was going to be Reese Hines. They pinch hit Will Benson with a right-handed pitcher on the mound. Benson hits a 3-2 fastball to right field, making it 8-4 Reds. That moves Tyler Stevenson to third, Espinal to first base. Espinal then singles to left field. Benson was running on the pitch, turned back. They actually get a force out at second base, but on that, we get our runner in from third. Tyler Stevenson scores, and that makes it 9-4 Redlegs. The play on Benson, he was running on the pitch. It's a ball that's hit out there. He thought it was on a line drive, so he stopped to go back, didn't see the ball down, and then it kind of turns around, and that's where, it looks like a base running mistake, but it's an honest mistake. The dude he ran with his head down was the biggest thing. He's got to see that ball out in front of him. Bottom of the fifth goes pretty quickly, still 9-4 Reds. In the top of the sixth, we get a couple of strikeouts and a flyout. Bottom of the sixth, they threaten. Lyon Richardson's in. He walks Sosa with an out. Brandon Marsh hits a single to center field. Trey Turner gets a ground out, moves the runners to second and third with 2 outs. Taylor Rogers comes in and does what Taylor Rogers does and gives up 2 inherited runners. And that makes it 9-6 Redlegs as Kyle Schwarber doubles off the wall. And the hate for Taylor Rogers is going to continue on this podcast. I know he had a better week, but from the last time we spoke to you, and I told you I couldn't stand him, I can't stand him again today. So everything Trey said about the decent outings and stuff like that through the week, I'm out on it. I don't want to see him anymore. But we do get out of it when Rogers K's Harper and keeps it at 9-6. In the top of the seventh, Spencer Steer draws a 4-pitch walk, but then 3 consecutive strikeouts, ends the inning there. Scott Barlow comes in to take care of the bottom of the seventh. Great play by Noelvi Marte after making an error earlier in the game. We get a Nick Castellanos strikeout, works around our JT Realmuto single, but a really good play by Austin Hayes ends the seventh inning at 9-6 Redlegs. The top of the 8th, Reds go quietly. Tony Santillan comes in, and that's when things get really interesting. He gets the first guy out, and then an error by Santiago Espinal puts the runner on first. A couple of walks later, we've got 2 outs where he gets a fly out in the middle of the inning. 2 outs, bases loaded, and it's Tony Santillan in a big spot. He runs the count to 2-2 and gets, I believe, Alec Bohm looking to end the inning, and that was the end of the threat. Emilio Pagan comes in the 9th, picks up the save, and your Cincinnati Redlegs win a ball game 9-6. That's a lot of talking from the Angels. And cheers to you. Your Redlegs win, and that moves us to 46-42 on the season, 4 games above 500, and another series where your Cincinnati Redlegs haven't been swept.
And the streak continues. Absolutely right. And it's one of those two where you come into the series thinking just don't get swept. Let's win 1 of 2 and get out of town. But after you start off like that and get the momentum going, let's just go for the sweep and bring it back home and end this first half on a great streak. I mean, we got another left-hander coming tomorrow, so it's going to be another challenge. But after today, bring on the left-handers, man. It's back-to-back outings. We put it on 2 of the better left-handers in the National League, and so it's hard to argue right now, man. It's hard to not be excited. It's hard to not feel like you are coming from the heavens and as a Reds fan. So
I see the chat there. It looks hilarious, man. I saw you cracking up the whole time. I'm just trying to read and do all my shit at the same time. You're going absolutely off.
Eric the Archangel's the one that got me, man. I think it was Optimistic John. I'm like, oh, that's a Twitter handle if I've ever heard one. I absolutely love it. But no, you're exactly right, man. There was a lot to talk about and a lot to cover today, but we're expecting a fireworks show tonight. But the Reds and Phillies gave us a fireworks show with all the runs scored today, and it was an exciting day. I really enjoyed watching that one.
Yeah, and it's awesome to see a team that plays really good defense. I mean, you get great efforts from Noelvi Marte. You get a great play from Austin Hayes out in left field. Will Benson catches a ball that I'm not sure he ever saw it. It was 114 miles an hour off Kyle Schwarber's bat, and I think that's in the bottom, or that's in the bottom of the 8th, in the middle of that threat. That if that ball's not caught, we're in a completely different situation there with Tony Santillan. Like it was a scary moment, and it probably scores a run. So I want to give kudos. I see Sam Moll getting the mentions here. Sam Moll comes out and has a hell of an outing
for the second time in a row.
Yeah, and he goes 1 2/3. He has the third out, but Noelvi Marte actually makes the error that ends up costing him his day. He could have had 2 innings of shutout and relief, and it would have been very well deserved. And it would have been the 4th inning in a row that Sam Moll comes in and doesn't give up a run. I believe he does still get the credit for 3 2/3 of scoreless baseball this week over the last couple outings. So kudos to Sam Moll. God knows we don't want to see Taylor Rogers with any kind of a runner on base. Maybe it's the empty bases that he needs. I mean, he does put a really good K into Bryce Harper there once the bases are cleared. But he didn't do how many times do you see 3 left-handed guys come up in a row and he can't get it done? Now that's the heart of their order. I get it. That's right. That's Bryce Harper. That's Kyle Schwarber. And I'm trying to think who their other guy is there.
I say enter name here, Trey Turner, JT Rowe. You know what I mean? But the left-handed murderer's row right there is definitely a gauntlet, and I kind of think we're missing that one more left-handed pitcher out of the bullpen. It kind of come up reared its ugly head. I think there it was a 7th or 8th where if we had just one more left-handed pitcher to come out of that bullpen, man, it would do us a solid. Even if he has to, even if it's in addition to Taylor Rogers or replacing Taylor Rogers, whatever we've got to do there. But one little note I did have on Will Benson coming in and getting that base hit right there. He took an inside fastball, a little bit of chin music, and you kind of heard the crowd behind him getting into it. He was like taunting them on, kind of cheering on the inside fastball, and you could almost see Will Benson just grit his teeth and like, all right, I'm going to make you eat this. There's just something about Will Benson playing that spoiler, man, that I absolutely love. And it's very next pitch, he drills one, and I'm like, all right, there we go. I like that, man. Will Benson playing with a little bit of edge. I absolutely love it.
Oh, Will Benson's the most baseball player I've ever seen in my entire life. He's like an NBA star, giving him the Hulk Hogan ear and stuff like that. Like the fact that baseball doesn't give the opportunity for personalities to shine through all the time, but Will Benson somehow still does. He's an energy guy. He's played really well. Like you couldn't be happier for the guy. I believe he's a former Duke basketball player, actually. And so when they have before having the 3-point shootouts and stuff like that in spring training, he was always the odds-on favorite to win it. But yeah, it's one of those things that he's always up and his energy's always alive. But we do want to remind you, if your energy's ever low, if you're ever feeling down, you can always call 988. We want to remind you can call or text 988 anytime, day or night. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is a place to get support for anything related to mental health, whether it's an immediate crisis or simply wanting to find out how to connect with care or anything in between. It's 100% confidential, secure, and anonymous way to reach out for help when you have nowhere else to turn. To connect, call or text 988 or visit mantherapy.org to get help. And just remember, it's okay not to be okay. And then we talk about, the one downside of today is you come away thinking Taylor Rogers makes me want to call 988. Like it's that bad. Like we're to the point. I don't know what the bullpen number is to Louisville, but we've got to send somebody. Like just roll the dice with Taylor Rogers, or roll the dice with Sam Moll and Brent Suter as your two left-handed guys out there in the pen. Find somebody else that can spare Suter the long relief efforts so that you can start to use him against left-handed bats more and more. I know his reverse splits aren't great throughout his career, but you've got to do something different because rolling Taylor Rogers out there is just asking for whoever's on, they're coming in. As long as you're okay with the score after the base is clear when he comes in, that's what we're looking at.
Right. And you're hamstrung by having to try to give him a clean inning all the time. If there's runners on base, you can almost guarantee they're going to score. So it's one of those where you're hamstringing the club by trying to bring him into a clean inning constantly. And when you can't rely on the guy, you can't rely on the guy. So if it's AAA that's got to get it right or whatever it is, we've got to do. But I just don't feel good whenever he's coming. He's the next arm out of the bullpen. You're always just holding your breath, and I just don't like it. But not getting into the DSC deep drive of the day before we get too far into this. There wasn't a whole lot to choose from as far as home runs are concerned. Actually, no home runs today. And all of our AAA, AA, and single, they don't play till later on this evening. I think everybody's got at least a 6:35 start time, if not later. So deep drive of the day, we're going to go with our hardest hit ball. Our hardest hit ball of the day was Elly's RBI single in the top of the third. His RBI single was hit 107.7 miles an hour off the bat. Did travel 272 feet, but it took our win probability up 14.5% to 52.9 and would obviously ultimately end in 100% win probability. So Elly De La Cruz is your DSC deep drive of the day. Our deep drive of the day is sponsored by Deep South Commodities. DSC is a leader in renewable commodities for biofuel production, specializing in used cooking oil collection, aggregation, and sales. Visit www.deepsouthcommodities.com for more information. And thanks as always to our friends at DSC.
Yep. So let's break this team down from what we saw today. Andrew Abbott has another rough start where the longevity is not there. This is a lineup that can absolutely mash, and so you don't feel too terribly bad when you're giving it up to Schwarber, you're giving it up to Harper, you're giving it up to Bohm, Trey Turner, Realmuto. I mean, there's five dudes there that would, if they're inserted into the Reds lineup, those are dudes that you would expect to be the best hitter in our lineup on a regular basis. And so there's some talent on the other side, so you kind of feel for him in that aspect. But the length for Andrew Abbott needs to come along on the back half of this season. We can't see the Andrew Abbott that we've seen in years past, where after the All-Star break and once we get into August, he starts to fade into this number 5 role pitcher. You know what I mean? Like he's the number 2 guy on our staff when Hunter Green is healthy as of right now. And we need him to pitch like a number 2, and we need him to continue to be our ace until Hunter Green comes back. And so I'm really excited to see him get a break. I know we want him in the All-Star game, but I'm on the Nick Kirby train of take the break, man. Just take your time, get healthy, take whatever rest you need. This team will be better for it if you're not a pitcher in the All-Star game. But if you get the honor and the kudos are there, obviously it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. You've had a first half for the ages. Your ERA is at 2.15 after today. That's how you never know that you're going to get that opportunity again. So, I mean, obviously take it. But, yeah, I would almost hope that they snub us and when they don't take Andrew Abbott so that we're better off for it after the break and he gets a full 8 or 9 days off after he makes his last start here next week.
Absolutely. I mean, you were talking about getting some of the length out of him. I mean, we got 6, 9, 5.2, 7, 5. I mean, the length has kind of been there. So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's been there here in the past, but I see what you're saying. Going forward, let's not overuse him and try to run him into the ground and be the Andrew Abbott that we ran into a couple years ago. So
we've got a couple of super chats we'll get to real quick from RD711. Sends us a super chat and says, "Sick lids, boys. Hey, we appreciate it, man.
Thanks,
we're down at the ballpark with a regular basis. We get a chance to see that little New Era shop down the right field line, and they hook it up every time. This is the hat that you saw today over in Philadelphia. Corey's hat's the one that you'll see Elly De La Cruz wearing when he goes in and plays shortstop and hits a bomb and wins All-Star MVP when they're in Atlanta here in a couple weeks." Michael Rolfe with the Rolfe bomb. Been a miss. We have one from him. We appreciate you, man. I say
yes, sir.
I know he supports Nick and those guys through the week, and we appreciate his support anytime. But Eric is Patrick Swayze from Ghost, and if not, he might be the second coming of Jesus. Whoever Eric is, return with the halo tomorrow, because Heaven Eric Almighty looked work today. So, and this one belongs to the Reds. Rolf, cheers to you. I'm coming from the heavens known as Cambridge, Ohio, here to see some fireworks with my boys and hang around with some family, and obviously drink a couple beers as well. So really appreciate you guys' support there in the super chats, and we love that you guys are in here. I mean, it's a damn 4th of July, and we got about 500 people tuned into this thing. So
yeah, man,
we're so excited. Yeah, and it's a 9-6 win. I mean, these guys are starting to carry some momentum. You're back to 4 games above 500. You come off that series loss in Boston where you feel like things could start to get off the rails. I told Corey before we got on today, I said, I was just hoping we didn't get swept in this series. Your pitching matchups are atrocious.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got now tomorrow, I believe. Is it Lodolo tomorrow?
And yeah, Ranger Suarez tomorrow.
And Ranger Suarez. Yeah, and Ranger's another lefty that's going to
the kid's on fire.
And then you've got one of the best right-handers in the game in Zach Wheeler on Sunday. So the odds are stacked against you. If you take 2 or 3 from here, that tells me not only that you're a playoff team, but that you're a team that can actually go win in the playoffs. Like
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're looking for a litmus test and it's early and is it their best shot and is it actually the playoffs, Citizens Bank at night and things like that is a different animal. But I'm telling you, man, you got to beat good teams in order to make this thing happen. And if you're going to beat good pitching along the way, good pitching is what you're eventually going to see. And that was the one thing about the COVID Reds with Trevor Bauer and those guys. They never did hit good pitching that year. Like there were series where you just kind of, I don't want to say they lucked into that Atlanta series down there, but once you got down there and saw their 2 aces, Bauer goes out and gives you a hell of a performance and you just don't hit, and then that's obviously a completely different team than what we're seeing now. But I think this team has enough gumption and has enough variety of hitting type that we can go out and hang with anybody. Good pitching usually does scare me, and it still does. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather face a bum than Zach Wheeler every day of the week. But this team has enough talent and depth from both sides of the plate that left-handed pitching is starting to become something that I don't fear anymore. I think the idea of Rhys Hines, and as soon as Rhys Hines had the opportunity to sit against a right-handed pitcher, he did. Benson comes in. It's a great little platoon. Benson delivers. You would hope that reciprocates in the other way. Austin Hayes being healthy is a massive part of this. Hitting in the middle of the order, Spencer Steer delivers today. Matt McClain delivers today. Like, it's just Elly from the right side is getting better and better. The left-handed pitching problem that we've had for the last 2 years seems to have found a little bit of level to the point that I think we're in a good spot. I hope Eric's wearing sunscreen. Nick, my back is on fire, my man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was kind of feeling the other way. I had to talk to the old guys at the Moose the other day. They were kind of on the ledge when we were going into that third game against the Red Sox. And I'm like, listen, guys, we're going to pick one up tonight. We're going to sweep the Phillies because the hell with Philadelphia. I don't know what it is about the Phillies fans. We got the best fans in our chat room right now, but I'm telling you right now, Phillies might have the worst fans. I don't know what it is about Philadelphia and those fans, but I can't stand it. And I love sticking it to them. And honestly, I kind of think we feed off the booze. When stuff starts to go wrong, I think those guys would be better off sitting on their hands and being quiet. Instead, they want to boo and let everybody know how upset they are. And I'll be completely honest with you. I think at least our Cincinnati Reds feed off of that.
Oh, blood in the water. Yeah,
go ahead and start booing. We love knowing how mad you are and how upset you are and the fact that you're not enjoying your good day at the ballpark. So keep right on booing, man. I think we feed off of it. So we have the best fans here in our chat room and for Cincinnati Reds fans. And I'll be on record as saying the Phillies might have the worst as far as that's concerned. They're behind their team, but the way they treat other people sometimes, it's not always that great. So like sticking it to Philly.
Yeah, and I'll say the only person I'm booing on this Reds team is if I see Taylor Rogers coming out of the pen. That's the only time I'm getting vocal in the wrong direction. But even then, I'm praying for him and rooting for him because it's one of those things that, no matter what 26 are out there wearing a Reds uniform, we need them to win. And we got to play with what we've got. So really excited to see that. Lineup up and down the way today. When we take a look at it, I'm going to read this down here. Friedel with 2 hits, Matt McClain with a run scored, Elly with 2 hits, Hayes with a hit, Steer with 2 hits, Stevenson with 2 hits. Noelvi Marte did not record a hit, but did have a walk. Rhys Hines did not have a hit or a walk. Benson with a hit and an RBI. Espinal with a hit and a run scored. So, you get 11 hits on a day, and these guys do unbelievable work up and down the lineup when you're called upon to come in cold off the bench like Will Benson did and deliver in that spot. That's huge. mean, that's pulling the right measures, or that's pulling the right levers from the Tito train, and then getting things right. And I think he pulled the right levers from the bullpen too. You know, you go from Andrew Abbott, and then when Andrew Abbott leaves, you get I'm sorry. You go from Andrew Abbott to
Sam Moll.
Sam Moll. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know we talked about him earlier. We go from Andrew Abbott to Sam Moll to Leon Richardson to Taylor Rogers to
Barlow
to Santillan to Pagan. I mean, that's a long day of pulling the right levers to make sure that you save the lead. Now, a lot of that gets pretty predictable when you get past Taylor Rogers and you've got 3 innings to get work in. Almost thought we'd see Graham Ashcraft in that spot instead of Scott Barlow, because that was his before he left. But do you want to get into the couple of announcements that we had today in terms of our roster?
Yeah, adding Graham Ashcraft to the bullpen and adding Noel Marte to the lineup, and we optioned Ryan Velade and Sam Bench. Is it Ben Schroeder? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, thank you for your service. Did he actually appear? I don't think he ever did make an appearance. I'm not sure that he did.
Option those 2 guys to Louisville to bring up Noel and Graham Ashcraft, and the lineup looks a lot better with Noel Marte in the lineup. And honestly, I kind of thought the same thing with Graham Ashcraft. Or if we play add-on there in the top of the 9th, and it's more than a 3-run lead, I think we might have seen Graham Ashcraft come out of there in a less serious situation, just to try to try to get some of the rust knocked off of him. But that didn't happen. It was a 3-run lead, and we still got Pagan in the 9th. But I do feel better about our roster additions, though. It's just there's something about having Graham Ashcraft and his attitude and his lengthiness coming out of the bullpen, and obviously Noel Marte in the lineup makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's massive, and I think you need to see Graham Ashcraft come in and throw strikes before you throw him back out there in high leverage. I think the emotions and things like that are there, but the little bit of shakiness before going to the IL gives Tito a little bit of apprehension about high leverage situations until you get a spot where you're up 4 or 5 runs or down 4 or 5 runs, and he can come in and prove that he can throw strikes on a regular basis, because that's the difference between good Graham and bad Graham. Is if he's throwing strikes, we're going to be fine, and he can live, and he can have, roll his momentum and his emotions to a great outing. But until he comes back and proves that he can throw on the major league mound, and has the command of the strike zone with his pitches, I think you might see him in low leverage spots just to get started, and maybe until the All-Star break to kind of give him, and then you get a chance to reset your bullpen. We do have another super chat from Rolf, another Rolf Baum. He says, when I caught Gleyer's Geta, no free ads for the 7th consecutive parade today, I knew the Red Legs were going to win. Happy 4th, everyone, and be safe. Catching Geta is never a bad thing, man. I have to explain to people every time that they come to my house down in Cincinnati, as we're trying to get used to it. It's weird because Cincinnati is the only one that uses terms like net worst and stuff like that too. A lot of people are terrified to order that stuff because they have no idea what it means. But met worst, cheddar worst, bratwurst, it doesn't matter what it is. And especially coming from those, the Gleyers folks do a great job, and I believe they're a sponsor of the Reds. No free ads to the podcast, but yeah, they make great products, and I've eaten a lot of Geta in my time from those guys. So awesome to see, Rolf. Glad you caught it, and hope you're out celebrating your independence today. Celebrating that, kicking England's ass in 1776. So it's always fun to be on here and having some fun and enjoying a Reds win. So we talked about Sam Moll. We talked about the Reds hits up and down the lineup. We talked about the return of Noel Marte and Graham Ashcraft. I'm trying to think. I mean, taking it to Philadelphia, you had already mentioned it. It's one of those things that you go and you beat a playoff team, and you beat a starter that in favor you will begin that game at plus money on the money line, and so you weren't favored to win this game, even though you had your best pitcher year to date in Andrew Abbott going to the bump. So exciting to see. Hopefully they can get it done again tomorrow. Again, I think this left-handed pitching monkey off is starting to come off of our back, and I think tomorrow is a day that we can introduce that again. I feel like we said the exact same thing last week. Feels like a big start for Nick Lodolo tomorrow. That's who we've got on ours, right? We're more Lodolo tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He went out and he gets through and only gives up a run, but he only goes 5 innings last week. It'd be real nice to go out and put that Philly crowd on their hands and have them booing their batting, their lineup tomorrow. If we can go out and give us 7 innings of 1 run or shutout baseball and get a little bit of depth, and then get this thing rolling. You did have a day off yesterday, but you do run through quite a few arms. The only guys you don't pull out of the bullpen today are Graham Ashcraft, Brent Suter, and I feel like I'm missing one there. But those might be the only 2 guys that didn't appear today. So you want to, kind of save your bullpen to be ready to go for that 7-game stretch at home before the All-Star break. So would hate to see us get behind the 8 ball and have a short Lodolo outing. knowing that you're going to go to Martinez, you're going to go to Chase Burns again, who didn't make it out of the first in Boston and stuff like that here coming up. So you want to save those bullets for when you have to fire them later. But no, love what we're seeing. I think this series is up for grabs tomorrow. If you win today feels like a series win, honestly. It felt bad, going in and looking at the matchups, but I'd really like to secure this thing and beat a playoff caliber team like Philadelphia here at this part of the season.
Absolutely, but we're going to be up against it tomorrow. We got Nick Lodolo versus Ranger Suarez. Ranger Suarez is a 7-2 with a 2.0 ERA. Last 8 starts though, 5-2, 0.99 ERA.
Jeez.
So his last 7 starts, he's been absolutely disgusting.
He's due for a hiccup,
and that's exactly what that sounds like. Does rely on a handful of pitches. He does six pitch pitcher. Sinker, changeup, cutter, curveball. He does have a 4-seamer and a slider that he doesn't throw very often. Average fastball is 92 miles an hour. Reds against Suarez, not a lot. They are 4 for 20 overall. Austin Hayes is 3 for 7. CES is 1 for 3. Elly, Steer, and Espinal are 0 for 2, and Stevenson's 0 for 3. So not a lot of production as far as the history is concerned. But we're going to turn that page tomorrow and get past all this and make it 2 in a row against the Philadelphia Phillies and go for the sweep on Sunday. So going to be an uphill battle against Suarez, but I think we can do it. We beat 2 of the better left-handers we've seen all year in the last two outings. So nothing to think we can't do it again tomorrow.
I think it's fun to see too. We talked about it for weeks about what happens when Noelvi Marte and Austin Hayes are healthy and what does this lineup look like. And now you're looking at a lineup against a left-handed pitcher where you can pull a couple of different levers. Today they put Matt McClain in the DH and played Santiago Espinal at second base to get both of those bats in the lineup. I'd be curious to see if they try to force Santiago Espinal back into the lineup tomorrow and have him DH. I would assume Matt McClain goes back to second base, but you probably see Jose Trevino catch and Tyler Stevenson to the DH. So that way you still have that dominant right-handed lineup. Austin Hayes, Noelvi Marte, Jose Trevino, Tyler Stevenson, Matt McClain, Spencer Steer.
Sounds like a win, baby. Sounds like a win.
Elly McClain. I mean, that's up and down the lineup. You've got Elly that's going to switch from both sides. But then your left-handed bats off the bench are Will Benson and Gavin Lux, and I love those 2 in pinch hit roles. Now, when you go back and see a righty, Reese Hines, I'd love to see him, produce from a pinch hit standpoint. Santiago Espinal, when a lefty comes in, is a great asset off the bench. It just feels like this lineup got so much deeper today. And nothing against the guys that got sent down, but Graham Ashcraft we need him to be the Graham Ashcraft of early in the season, through this all-star break and afterwards, in order for this bullpen to catch a little bit of a rest. He can be the guy that gives Tony Santiano a breather. He's tied for third most in Major League appearances in Major League Baseball. So going into today, he throws 23, 24 pitches. He's probably not available tomorrow. Maybe that forces Graham into one of those roles that we talked that, he may not see otherwise if he doesn't prove himself in another spot. So, you probably see Graham tomorrow in whatever spot that he's needed, whether it be high leverage or low leverage with the bullpen usage today. But no, I'm excited to see the depth return. I think the tinkering with the lineup, I think you finally handed a car that starts to Tito Francona to see how he drives it. You know what I mean? Or drives the boat. I'm sorry. You've handed him a full deck of passengers to steer this ship and be the captain. So now that he's got a full deck to play with, let's see how he plays his cards. And, I've got all the trust in the world in him because it seems like, on a game like today, he makes all the right moves, moves the bullpen around in the right order. Pinch hits for Reese Hines with Will Benson that comes through and delivers. Everything just kind of moves around and everything's in order and moving forward. So really excited to see what this team can do. Get 2 or 3 from here. Leave Philadelphia with at least 4 games above 500. Go 5-2 into that thing, and be 7-8 games above 500 at the All-Star break. And might as well throw the parade now. You know what I mean? You might as well get the horses lined up. Let's start parading. Let's get the route figured out, because this is a team that looks like it's marching towards a playoff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're absolutely right. Terry Francona does have a car that works right now, but don't act like he wasn't doing the work himself. He didn't take it to a shop and let somebody else do it. He's had his hand in getting us there. He's been getting his hands dirty when the hoods popped up. So he's got a car that's driving right now, but he has a lot to do with getting us to this point. So let's just keep right on rolling, man. I haven't felt this good going into an All-Star break for a long time. I'm pretty damn excited. I know that much. So let's just keep the ball rolling and get another big win in Philadelphia and go for the sweep on Sunday.
Sounds good, man. No, we're looking forward to it. You guys will see us tomorrow. What time's that game? Is that a 4:05 start tomorrow?
4:10.
410 starting Philadelphia, going to be in Citizens Bank Park again. So the Reds up against it, gonna have a tough time going out and taking care of another left-handed pitcher. But as we just talked about, the depth on this team is finally here. This team is healthy. This is a team that can compete. If you're going to make the playoffs, it's with these 26 right here. You may be able to add some bullpen depth and do some acquisitions at the deadline to help some of these guys out to where, maybe it's not Scott Barlow all the time. Maybe it's Zach Maxwell. Maybe it's Luis May. Maybe you can figure out, how that thing goes on the back end. But I think what we're looking at right now is the best Reds team that we've seen all season, not just from a health standpoint, but from the opportunity standpoint to be successful against both right and left-handed pitching. So really excited to see what this team can be. Pumped up for tomorrow. We'll be tuned in at 4:10 as the Redlegs take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Again, looking for a series win. If they can pull that off, great. If not, we'll come back and we'll kick Zach Wheeler in the teeth on Sunday. But we're going to get out of Philadelphia with a win. I could feel it. And we're looking forward to having you guys right back on here tomorrow for a post game. It'll be the Phillips boys. I'll be coming from the heavens again, maybe a little different setting. Might set up out in nature or something like that. Go out there with Bigfoot out by Salt Fork State Park or something like that. But we'll get something figured out. We'll make this camera look good. But we appreciate every single one of you for tuning in. Everybody in the chat, thank you for all the jokes and keeping this thing lighthearted. Have a very safe and happy 4th of July. Drink responsibly. Have fun. See the shows, but be safe. Don't pull a Jason Pierre-Paul and lose a digit before tomorrow.
No doubt.
You want to take us home, Cory T?
Absolutely. Hey, have a safe and happy 4th of July, everybody. Make sure you keep all those phalanges back and don't make it your last weekend with all 5 fingers. But as always, go Reds.